Hello, everyone. It's such a great honor to be here to speak to all of you. I want to thank our partner, PAGO Networks, to give me this opportunity. Gary has talked a lot about the challenges that the SOC analysts are facing today, the big data problem, and also the AI. I share a lot of insights with Gary, so today I will go back to why we built the Open XDR and go back to history, why we built it and how we built it, a little bit about our journey to here today. Paul said, PAGO Networks, you guys are the front runner against the cyber threat. So you are the soldiers fight in the front line. We are the back end to provide the weapons, to provide the technology for the soldiers. Together, we defend the organizations to make them safer. So about 2015-16 time, when I started Stellar Cyber, this is what I dreamed to build. It's because we are behind. At that time, SIEM tools are not effective to protect the organizations. SOC analysts are overwhelmed by the alerts and through the manual triaging and the siloed tools. So averagely, the metrics at that time is a hacker staying in your environment for over 100 days. That's crazy. And then, so what we dream to build is a unified platform that allows you to see everything and everywhere. Basically, your network, your endpoint, or your cloud, identity, email, see everything in your environment, and collect the security relevant data. Because if you collect too much data, it's useless, you're overwhelmed. But if you miss some data, then you have blind spot, you have gap. So very first step, what we have to solve is to make sure we get visibility into your environment, 360-degree visibility, and do it right, solve that problem. Second, we should still use rules and signatures and Sigma rules to detect the known bad, to continue increase the coverage, but we must use machine learning to detect suspicious behaviors. Because sometimes hackers get into your environment through legitimate credentials. Then you cannot detect using any of the existing technology. But when they get into your environment, they will do something that may not always align with everyday work you're doing. So there will be suspicious traits, signals left in your environment. So we must leverage machine learning. And then, but the problem with the suspicious signals, they're not always bad, right? You may do something out of line once, but it's legitimate. So if you have to triage every single one of those, you get alert fatigue. Then the next big thing we thought here is connecting the dots. So we have to correlate those suspicious signals. When you link them together, you see a much clearer trait of something bad is going on in your environment. Identify it early is not enough. Next, you want to stop it. So the whole idea is, as soon as the hacker gets into your environment, before they cause damage, before they launch a ransomware attack or steal your data outside, you stop. We already see this is happening and take action to preempt, like the PAGO engineer described, to stop it by block the IP from the firewall or contain a host through the endpoint solution, or like disable the user for a period of time to investigate. And lastly, we have to seamlessly integrate with all the security tools you have already invested so far. Organizations invest a lot of tools. They all each play a different role. We want to bring them together so that we can have a full picture and detect very effectively. The last point I didn't put on this slide is multi-tenant support from day one, because not all the organizations want to or can afford to have a SOC. It requires investment in the tools, not only in the tools, but also people. And as Gary mentioned, there is a shortage of experienced SOC analysts. So we want to build a multi-tenant platform to enable service providers like PAGO networks to operate on behalf of organizations, so we can protect more organizations out there. So that was a vision. It's a bit long, but that's what we aim to build over the years. Okay, so how does this help to address the pain point? Because of the complete visibility, we eliminate the blind spot. And the automated threat detection using machine learning and the out-of-box built rules and signatures help to reduce the work for the manual rule creation and address the alert fatigue by correlate alerts into cases. So you see a bigger picture rather than triage every single alert and then response instead of manual response. Like you email the customer, say, oh, you have something going on you need to block from firewall. It probably take hours or even days, and then too late. So we built into the automation, just one click away, it's stopped. So when we built this, it's a big vision you can see. For startup company to build all those components, it takes a lot. So we have to have a strategy. Our strategy is some of the key components. We have to build it. Architecture, a cohesive platform architecture. All the data source goes through the same pipeline, and multi-tenant, all those have to be built in. And another core capability we choose to build in is NDR. It's a network detection and response. We intentionally did not choose to build the EDR ourselves. Reason being, at that time, there are already companies like SentinelOne, CrowdStrike, many good EDR solutions already available out there. So we don't have to repeat what other people built, but we integrate with them so that we cover the endpoint, get the intelligence through endpoint. And this is the overall architecture. You can see we have to have a bigger data platform. So SIEM data lake allow you to visualize, analyze, and search the data and store the data for long-term retention. And also an API framework that can integrate the data not only from cloud, but also on-prem, and then to integrate with a third-party product. And then we built the automated detection and the correlation engine, the machine learning detection and the correlation engine. Then NDR capability, threat intelligence platform. Threat intelligence is another very key element here. As the data come in, we enrich them with the threat intelligence. So we already can detect, your network traffic is talking to some malicious CNC server or those places real time. And then the automation, basically automatically responds. And also we embedded IDS engine in it. As I said, machine learning alone is not enough. You have to work together with the traditional other detection mechanisms. Malware sandbox analysis from network traffic. We assemble the file, and then we send it to malware sandbox analysis, to detect the malicious files in your environment. We automatically discover the entities, users in your environment, and do their behavior analysis. So but for the endpoint, for the top ones, we achieve those functionalities through integration with the third-party product, especially endpoint EDR, because endpoint is also a critical attack surface, as we all know. That's why there are so many EDR companies fighting this front. And the identity, email, cloud, SaaS, all those capabilities are acquired through third-party integration. So a little bit to emphasize on the data collection part is in order to get the, as I mentioned, we have to get the data right. So we spent a lot of time building sensors. We call it modular sensors. So this modular sensor, why modular? Because it has a lot of functionalities. You can select whatever you want for your environment. So this modular sensor has a DPI engine embedded in it. It will extract the metadata. Because full packet capture is too much data. With today's traffic, I think people can imagine if you capture every packet, it's probably, you will not be able to analyze it. Even more, like the payload has customer sensitive information, which also is not very security relevant. Security relevant, what the application is running, the layer 4, like TCP IP layer, who is talking to who, using what application, those are more important. So we extract the metadata through DPI engine. And we also embed IDS engine in it. So anything that matches the IDS threat signature can be identified too. And filtering capability, this sensor, because it lives in customers on-prem, it can also take response action for things like block a firewall, block some IP address on the firewall. You cannot achieve from cloud. You have to be within the customer's environment. And then disable user like from the Active Directory. Those actions all have to happen in customer environment. Another big factor is vulnerability. So our sensor also has a vulnerability scanning embedded in it. It can scan your environment to identify the vulnerabilities. So to get this, to build the sensor, these sensors can also be like different form. That can be virtual, that can live in the cloud, or that can be a hardware box. Like especially useful for the OT environment, because OT environment, the machines are usually old and very do not have enough resource to host an agent on it. It's harder to deploy agent on it. But if you have a sensor that hang off the switch in the OT environment, you can get the visibility without disrupting the production. So besides the sensor, we also built the API integration framework. Then it can take data from the third-party product like identity, email, EDR, cloud, or other vulnerability management tools like Rapid7 or Tenable.io, all those, and also integrate with the firewalls. So sometimes people do not want to deploy a sensor. Then that's okay. We can ingest the firewall log, firewall traffic log, and enrich that with the threat intelligence. So for the third-party integration, we want to make sure this integrated product, although we did not build it ourselves, we want to make sure its quality is as high as our built-in capability. So we study their third-party data, and we study their alert. If the alert is noisy, we try to apply machine learning or deduplication to reduce the noise. And then we also, if the alert is high fidelity, then we label them with MITRE attack tactics and techniques, so they're aligned with the kill chain. And then we also do the correlation for the third-party products. So we built about hundreds of integrations with a lot of products. These are just some examples here. Another key point I want to emphasize here is we want to move from alert-centric investigation to case-centric, because alerts is sheer volume is just too many. If we group them into cases, we not only see the higher level picture, and we are also much more efficient in addressing the alert. So this is what we built. It's an open platform that has the things inside the circle are the detections where we have NG SIEM, NDR, we have some ITDR, CDR capability, and the threat intelligence platform. Moving forward, we are going to go even deeper and broader on the ITDR and the CDR, because that's, in today's world, that's where the hacker are focusing on. And then for the EDR, we do what we call EDR federation, and bring your own EDR. So because we don't provide our EDR. And I want to share some story about what do we call it. When we first built this platform, there was no XDR. So at that time, we first called our platform breach detection system. And Forrest also called us security analytics platform. But then in 2019, people start to talk about XDR. Palo Alto first came up with the word XDR is detection and response beyond the endpoint. Gartner also came out with a definition of XDR. It's an EDR vendor start to expand their coverage by integrating their own product. So we thought about it. We said, oh, this is what we're doing, so we should call ourselves XDR. But other people say you must have your EDR to be XDR, so you're not the XDR. And also they say you integrate with your own product. You cannot integrate with a third-party product. We say you have to. That's why we say, okay, we call ourselves Open XDR. And then in 2019, this is Palo Alto's Ignite conference. Near said, have this slide, I took a screenshot. These are the copycats. So they call us copycats. But our definition of XDR is different than others. We always promote a platform approach. It has to be a unified platform. It cannot be you start with one product and bolt on another one. That's not a cohesive, unified platform. But today, after 3 years debate with Gartner, eventually they actually agreed with our approach. Now, today, people may not always call Open XDR, but people talk about integrations. If you probably hear a lot of vendors start to talk about integration, platform approach. So our vision is validated, and we're very proud and fortunate about this. And here I want to recognize PAGO Networks. I think they are with us early on. They are visionary. They saw the potential of our platform approach and worked with us very early on. They also pioneered some advanced use cases, like especially in the OT-IT convergence area. So I want to thank them for that. Moving forward, where we are going, I think we share a lot of insights with what Gary just talked about. Starting from 2023, when the Gen AI appeared, we start to invest and see how we leverage the Gen AI to move our platform all the way from data collection to the autonomous SOC. So basically, we want to leverage the AI to triage the alerts and the cases for you, to bring in more context, and then give a verdict, say if it's malicious or if it's benign. And then there's another application called Copilot. This is more AI assistant. So human drive the action, but AI help you to answer questions similar thing, like you ask a question rather than you write queries. So threat hunting will be so much faster, multiple step threat hunting. Our view of moving forward, I think we definitely will humans still be needed? Yes, our answer is definitely yes. Human will become more like for senior analysts, they will give feedback to the AI system to tune, fine-tune, and train. It's like a supervisor working with your digital worker. And for junior analysts, it will, if you work well with the AI system, then you will elevate very fast. You will learn very fast because it's 24/7 available. It's patient. It's knowledgeable, always available. And the last point I want to emphasize is security is about trust. So can you trust what the AI tell you, right? So our way of answering that question is when AI give you some conclusion, it has to show you the evidence with the data collected from your environment. So you can see this indeed happened. This is indeed is very bad. So I'm not going to go to more details about the AI, but this is we feel that Gen AI accelerated our journey to autonomous SOC. Eventually, really fueled the automation to our earlier vision. We dream about it, and now it feels like it come into reality much faster. Thank you.